Vol 1ch 95. Leon Casmodes, who was highly expected by us, ultimately fell into the hands of carrots. After breakfast, that taste lingered in his mouth and nose. In the afternoon, when Muan was playing with him, she asked in puzzlement, "Daddy, why do you look unhealthy after eating carrots?" "My dear daughter, just because you don't like purple cabbage doesn't mean you can't eat it. But when Daddy doesn't like carrots, he really can't eat carrots. You just don't know what Daddy used to do. Daddy used to be the treasure of the Empire's Dragon Slayer army. The cooks in the army knew Daddy didn't like carrots and eggplants, so they removed all carrots and eggplants from the nutrition meals served to Daddy after he enlisted. See, that's how top Dragon Slayers are treated, like how top students can freely choose their seats in class." But on another note of all the dishes, Leon only fears those two types of food, and yet this morning he was caught red-handed by Rosvitha. Is it really a coincidence, or is there something else? Can't figure it out for now. But there's no time to mourn the vanished carrots. What's coming up next is revenge from Leon Casmode. As a dragon slayer, I cannot let that mother dragon off easy. Through spending such a long time together, Leon also found out that, apart from activities in bed, Rosvitha basically had no weaknesses in her daily life. She loved taking baths and being clean but didn't have serious cleanliness OCD. She could cook well without any flaws, and she handled household chores effortlessly, from sweeping the floor to mopping it. Finding a weakness that would make her lose her appetite for a day was as difficult as finding a needle in a haystack. Unable to eat, oh, I got it. He remembered when he was trying to subtly inquire about where Rosvitha had gone yesterday with Anna. Anna casually mentioned, "Her Majesty doesn't like coriander." Aha, he had indeed found the needle in the haystack. During dinner, Leon volunteered to cook himself. Following the principle of going all out, every dish Leon made was seasoned with coriander. No matter how cunning the mother dragon was, she couldn't escape my coriander array. After preparation, Leon proudly brought the food to the table. As the first dish of grilled chicken wings landed, Rosvitha's smile instantly froze. The fragrant chicken wings emitted an enticing aroma, and the few small green specks on them were quite eye-catching. Rosvitha took a deep breath. "Well, it's just a dish of grilled chicken wings. I can just not eat it, right? There are other dishes anyway, aren't there?" So for the second dish, roasted fish, coriander-flavored version. Rosvitha's frozen face finally couldn't hold back. Would this guy Leon really put so much coriander in his cooking before? Seeing Rosvitha's reaction, Leon tried to stifle his laughter as he continued to serve the dishes. And each subsequent dish had coriander as an accompaniment. Rosvitha couldn't escape. This was like coriander hell for her. "Come, Muan, your pan-fried steak should be eaten with vegetables too," Leon said. "I know, Daddy Tilda. Here, your roasted fish and some other side dishes. Help yourself." After serving the dishes, Leon took his seat, but instead of hurrying to start eating, he leisurely admired the expression on Rosvitha's face. Rosvitha bit her lip, staring at the roasted fish on the plate for a while. Finally, she squeezed out a sentence, "I am not very hungry, you guys go ahead." Just as she was about to get up, Leon suddenly reached out and grabbed her wrist. "You were out for so long yesterday, tired from the journey and didn't rest much. How can you not eat dinner? Have a little, don't make me worry." Leon's tone was sincere, full of affection. Right. How disgustingly attentive, Casmode, but at least there's no coriander discussed. "Yes, Mom, balanced nutrition is important, and 3 meals a day are important too." "Good daughter, whose side are you on, anyway?" Having been inexplicably arranged by Leon for a coriander feast, Rosvitha didn't know if this guy did it on purpose, but to avoid setting a bad example for her daughter not to eat properly, she reluctantly sat back down, picked up her knife and fork, and looked at the roasted fish adorned with coriander. Her voice trembled slightly. "Okay, Mom will eat." Hummed Tilda. Enduring the taste of coriander, Rosvitha ate the roasted fish in small mouthfuls. Who said there's no such thing as empathy in the world? She now understood the pain Leon felt during breakfast. Even though that pain was caused by her own hand. Wait a minute. As Rosvitha chewed on the fish, she glanced over the dishes on the table. Every dish had coriander. It's really hard not to suspect that this guy did it on purpose. So he decided to eat a whole dumpling of jealousy. But how did he know she didn't like coriander? Rosvitha's mind stirred slightly as she endured the overpowering scent of coriander, pondering over this matter. This dinner was the most satisfying dinner Leon had had recently. Coriander truly is the most perfect food in the world. After dinner, Muin went to rest in her room, and the couple washed dishes in the kitchen. Did you enjoy dinner? Leon persisted. Seeing through his intentions, Rosvitha replied, it was good, really well made. All right, stubborn dragon, I'll continue to make you a coriander feast tomorrow. As long as you enjoyed it, Leon said. Rosvitha chuckled, setting down the cleaned plates. Changing the subject, she said, tonight I'll sleep in your room. Leon was taken aback. Sleep in my room? Yeah, remember to tidy up. See you tonight. With that, Rosvitha wiped her hands, offering no further explanation. But even if she didn't explain, Leon understood the meaning behind her words very well. After all, being an old married couple, a single glance was enough to understand such matters. No doubt, tonight's coriander feast had sparked her desire to torment Leon again. Besides, it had been half a month since Leon last handed in his homework after the hot spring battle. In the past, when handing in homework, Rosvitha would usually choose between her own room or Leon's nursery. If she wanted to play some fancy games, like teacher roleplay or boss roleplay, she would stay in her own room. But if she wanted a simple night of intense passion, she would go to Leon's room. The reason for this choice was that she didn't want to mess up her own room. So tonight is going to be another intense night, huh? However, after the brief shock, Leon quickly calmed down, because with a full half-month of time, his body's amazing recovery rate combined with the highly nutritious food of the dragon race had already made him much stronger than before. Did Rosvitha want to casually manipulate and exert pressure on him again this time? It wouldn't be so easy. If she wanted to come, fine, he vowed to make this dragon regret it. But to maintain his facade of confidence, Leon symbolically declined, shall we do it another day? As expected, the reply was, no. Okay. All right, Mother Dragon, I've given you a chance. Don't beg for mercy when the time comes. In the evening, Leon quickly tidied up his nursery and then sat quietly at his desk, waiting. Before long, the door creaked, and Rosvitha walked in wearing a thin-strapped nightgown. She wore dragon-wing slippers, and her skirt was a bit short, just covering the top of her thighs. Her long and slender legs were exposed, exuding a fiery sensuality. The dragon tattoo on her chest was faintly visible, her round and delicate shoulders were fair and smooth, and her soft curves swayed slightly with each step. As she passed by Leon, a delicate fragrance mingled with the pleasant scent of shower gel wafted over, intoxicatingly alluring. Without greeting, she climbed into bed and pulled back the covers to lie down. Did you shower? Rosvitha asked. Yes, I did. Come here. After a pause, she added, shirt off. Leon silently got up and took off his shirt. Rosvitha glanced over, captivated by Leon's solid and well-defined muscles, especially his abs, which were so tempting that one would want to reach out and touch them. However, Rosvitha's goal tonight was not that. She averted her gaze and closed her eyes slightly. A few seconds later, Leon lay down beside her. Should I turn off the light? Leon asked. Yes, please. Click. The bedside lamp went out, plunging the room into darkness. Moonlight filtered in through the window, but Leon didn't take the opportunity to admire Rosvitha's profile. He was quietly waiting for the right moment, like a lion lurking before its hunt. You may not know how exaggeratedly skilled it is to kill a mother dragon effortlessly. I often say, if Noya could take on 3 opponents at school and defeat them all, then it's no problem for me, Leon, to take down Rosvitha alone. Lying in wait, Leon knew he couldn't consume this kidney treasure. He didn't need to. Rosvitha was as good as dead. If only he could exchange this kidney treasure for dragon strength, it would be a decisive blow. But unfortunately, it wasn't possible. Come on, Mother Dragon, hurry up, move a little faster. Stop dawdling, I still need to take you down. He handed her a small whip, signaling her to start the show. But as time ticked away, Rosvitha remained motionless. Leon turned his head and found her eyes closed, breathing steadily. Was she asleep? What happened to the intense passion? How could she fall asleep? Leon gently nudged her arm. Hey, no response. She was really asleep. Damn it. Did she really come to my room just to sleep and nothing else? Leon's mind raced. Rosvitha was now asleep. If he took her down now, no, it wasn't the right time. She usually liked to produce aggression, so counterattacking her would be more meaningful. And Leon had spent half a month accumulating his strength. He couldn't afford to lose it so easily. Money should be spent wisely on the blade's edge. With these thoughts in mind, Leon shifted away from Rosvitha, creating some distance, and then drifted off to sleep himself. However, in the early hours of the morning, around 2 o'clock, Silver eyes slowly opened. Rosvitha quietly sat up and gently nudged Leon's shoulder. "Wake up, I'm going to punish you. Wake up." Leon didn't respond. Rosvitha smiled knowingly. "Very well." She glanced at the clock on the wall, which showed exactly 2:30 in the morning. Teg had said that if Leon was asleep at 2:30 in the morning, there was a chance she could hear his inner thoughts when asking him questions. Rosvitha couldn't wait to give it a try. Without hesitation about what question to ask, she had already decided. "Let's start with a simple test," Rosvitha cleared her throat. "Leon Casmode, what's the name of your little daughter?" Leon murmured in his sleep, but didn't answer Rosvitha's question. Rosvitha frowned. Could it be that it's not working tonight? Just as Rosvitha was hesitating whether to try again tomorrow night, she heard Leon in a daze say, Muan K. Melkvi. Rosvitha's eyes lit up. Aha, got it. A perfect answer, they really were family. Then, for the second question, what does the girl you rejected in 5 seconds during your school days look like? Combining relationship history and embarrassing past equals double critical hit. Leon hummed, silver hair, tall, kind of pretty. Rosvitha lowered her gaze and snorted coldly. After all these years, you still remember her so clearly. What a dog of a man. So why did you hesitate for 5 seconds when rejecting her, while you were quick to reject everyone else? He tilde hehes tilde. Why are you laughing? Give me a proper answer. She's pretty, he. Rosvitha's face unknowingly darkened. Then why did you reject her? Why don't you go date her if you think she's pretty? Because I only like silver hair and tall girls, not her. Upon hearing this, Rosvitha softened slightly. Then what else do you like? I also like mature women, black stockings, bunny girls. Rosvitha suppressed a smile, holding her hands to her chest as if she had discovered some incredible secret. So you like bunny girls, you dog of a man. This was something even his master didn't know. Unexpectedly, there was a surprise revelation. Do you want that 5-second girl from school to dress up as a bunny girl for you? No. Rosvitha, then who do you want to see in a bunny girl outfit? Rosvitha. Rosvitha. Well, dream on. As the esteemed Silver Dragon Queen, I would never dress up as a bunny girl for you. Vol 1ch 96. Casmode, you'll never see me dressed as a bunny girl in your lifetime. Just give up on that dream. But why do you want to see me dressed as a bunny girl the most? Although unintentionally prying into her position in Leon's heart, extending this question might yield more juicy details. So it was all just fishing, plus a bit of pure curiosity. Because I. His voice grew softer and softer, as if he might fall asleep the next second. Rosvitha's curiosity was thoroughly piqued. She couldn't help but lean in closer, afraid to miss his next words. However, huff. Know what's wrong with you, just say it. Rosvitha gently pushed his shoulder. Then Leon snored lightly. Rosvitha sat on the bed, hands on her hips, raising her beautiful eyes. 2:31. It was already past 2:30 in the morning. You little rascal, when you say it's 2:30, it's exactly 2:30, not a minute less. Rosvitha said indignantly, next time, I'll just let you sleepwalk and see if you're still so lucky. Well, since it's already past 2:30, Rosvitha's purpose for tonight has been achieved. Next, should she take advantage of this guy being completely defenseless and give him another late-night lesson, which has been absent for half a month? As Rosvitha pondered, her hand reached for his cheek. However, just as her fingertips were about to touch Leon, she stopped herself. She remembered the day when Noya had drunk too much at the celebration banquet after passing the entrance test. That was the perfect opportunity for Leon to take advantage of her vulnerability. But he had said he didn't want to take advantage of someone's weakness. A true dragon slayer must defeat the Dragon King honorably. Rosvitha's pupils flickered slightly as she muttered, HMPH, and it's not effective when you're half asleep. It's more effective to torture you when you're awake. With that in mind, Rosvitha lifted the blanket, quietly got out of bed, glanced back at Leon, and then left the nursery. The next day, Leon woke up leisurely, opening his eyes halfway and glancing at the clock. It was 7:15 in the morning. So early, let's go back to sleep for a bit. So early? That's not right. Leon jolted awake, looking around the bed and then at the other places in the room where one could lie down or sit up. Everything was tidy, without any signs of a battle. According to his usual intensity in completing assignments, the room should have been a mess by now. But last night, nothing seemed to have happened. After his mind cleared a bit, Leon came to a conclusion. She's afraid. I won. Look, my dear audience, this is how a top dragon slayer, fully recovered to health, exerts pressure on the dragon's bloodline. Let me develop a bit more, and I'll easily control that mother dragon with a wave of my hand. Leon suddenly felt a bright future ahead of him, but he couldn't let the champagne flow too freely. Given the cunning nature of that mother dragon, she might come up with various ways to undermine him afterward, then take advantage of the situation to strike. This time, Leon had finally gained the upper hand, and he couldn't afford to waste it. He had to be even more careful. With these thoughts in mind, Leon got out of bed, freshened up, got dressed, and left the room, intending to head to the dining room for a meal. As he opened the door, he ran into Rosvitha. She had changed out of the provocative ultra-short nightgown from last night, and was now wearing casual home-style attire, a long skirt. The couple exchanged glances, and Leon spoke first. What time did you leave last night? Rosvitha calmly replied while tidying her hair, I left when you fell asleep. Didn't you say you were going to sleep in my room? Yeah, I slept for a while and then left. Is there a problem? Rosvitha stamped her foot, casting a sidelong glance. What's with your tone? Seems a bit disappointed. Leon chuckled. Clearly it was when you, the mother dragon, were about to make your move last night, only to find that your buddy was no longer the same as before, so you slunk away in embarrassment, right? Don't think I can't figure it out. But Leon had also become adept at hiding his intentions. In front of this mother dragon, he had to play it cool. What's there to be disappointed about? Sleeping means sleeping, that's it. After all, the whole castle is yours, you can sleep wherever you want. You're wrong. At the sound of her voice, Leon stopped in his tracks and turned to look at her. Wrong about what? As Rosvitha walked past him, she slowed her pace, gazing into his eyes. This castle is mine, and everything in it is mine, including you, the prisoner. Leon chuckled, shrugging nonchalantly. This level of mental attack didn't affect him much anymore. Mother Dragon, you should update your tactics. With his hands in his pockets, Leon turned and continued toward the dining room. Seeing that her tactic had no effect on him, Rosvitha came up with another idea. She walked alongside Leon, pretending to be casual. By the way, last night when I left, I heard you talking in your sleep. What did I say? It was intermittent, something like, a female classmate, regretting not agreeing to you back then, and so on. Leon's steps faltered, his expression panicked. He had indeed turned down many female classmates in the past for the sake of his studies and career, but most of them had been forgotten by now, their names and faces blurred in his memory. However, there was one he still remembered vividly. Leon glanced at the mother dragon beside him. Ah yes, it was her. Theoretically, the only female classmate who could make him talk in his sleep would be her. Leon also recalled hesitating a bit when he rejected her back then. It was inevitable, she was very attractive to him. But his response at the time had still been, "You're a good girl." How could it be that after all these years, he was still dreaming about her? Rosvitha looked at Leon's reaction and thought to herself that he must be using a process of elimination from his rejected female classmates list, and should have already guessed who she was referring to in her previous statement. With a smug smile, Rosvitha continued to feign ignorance, saying, "What's more, if I had agreed to you back then, I wouldn't have become a dragon slayer, let alone go to battle, and I wouldn't be here now, defeated and captured, regretting it all." Rosvitha clasped her hands together in a dramatic gesture, mimicking a prayer. "Oh, how touching, dragon slayer, I never thought you had such a heart-wrenching secret crush. It seems like I'm really the heartless dragon who has torn you apart from your loved ones. Leon's face turned green. It felt like he had swallowed 10 pounds of carrots. I never had a crush on her at all. Stop making things up. HMPH, of course I know you never had a crush on her. You spilled your true feelings in your sleep last night. But you were dreaming about being with her. But it's just a dream. I can't control what happens in my dreams. Risvitha continued walking toward the dining room, hands on her hips. And you call yourself the strongest dragon slayer, yet you can't even admit to secretly liking a girl. How embarrassing. Leon trotted after her, waving his hands as he explained, but I really didn't have a crush on her. I'm not listening. You have to listen, how can you just ignore me? Time for food, Tilda. You're such a dragon. Risvitha interrupted with a laugh. Muin rubbed her sleepy eyes as she walked out of her room. She was wearing her cute pink pajamas, with her fluffy hair sticking up and her sleep hat askew. At the end of the hallway, she saw the backs of her mom and dad. Her dad was chatting animatedly, while her mom smiled to herself. They must be telling some funny morning jokes, Tilda. Mom and dad are really happy together, Tilda. In the evening, the Leviathan school bus descended slowly. Leon shielded his eyes with his hand, watching the massive creature hovering in the sky. If we had one of these as a pet, how much food would it eat in a day? Risvitha crossed her arms. What, you want to retire with your female classmates and raise one after they graduate? Enough with the jokes. A teleportation column appeared, and Noya came running out of it, waving to a few classmates on the Leviaths. Oh, it looks like our daughter has good relationships at school. Mom, Dad, I'm back. A maid approached and took Noya's backpack. Muin, Noya opened her arms. Muin ran over with a smile. The two dragon sisters hugged each other, Muin rubbing her sister's cheek affectionately. The couple also smiled with satisfaction. But Leon noticed that Noya was holding something in her hand, so he asked, Noya, is that your homework? Noya walked over, holding her sister's hand, and handed the paper to Leon. Leon took it and saw that it was some kind of competition rule. Looking down, he read, Essay competition. Risvitha also leaned in, saying, Please write an essay with the theme of family and happiness, with a minimum of 800 words. Oh, and there's a word count requirement too. Leon handed the competition rules back to Noya. Have you decided how you're going to write it? Noya nodded. Yes, I've decided. Since the theme is about family and happiness, most of our classmates will probably write about family love, especially since there are many cocoon-born dragon families. If I write about family love too, I might not stand out. So I thought, why not take a different approach and highlight the unique advantages of being born from a live-bearing dragon family? The couple looked at each other, blinking. The unique advantages of being born from a live-bearing family, you mean? Noya smiled, I mean you too. Vol 1ch, 97. Me, us. Noya nodded. Yes, since everyone else will likely focus on family love, if I want to stand out, I can't write about family love too. I want to write about mom and dad's. Don't say that word. Please don't say it, I beg you. Romance. Puffing. As if two invisible sharp knives deeply pierced the hearts of the couple. The couple exchanged a glance. Clearly, they both felt a hint of fear towards the topic their eldest daughter had chosen. Family love was one thing. With 4 members in the family, you could easily come up with at least 3 segments of family love: father-daughter, mother-daughter, and sisterly love. It would be enough to fill up not just an 800-word essay, but even 2,400 words, just enough for certain lazy authors to create a chapter break. But you talk about this love. Love, my foot, what love? Do my mom and I look like we're deeply in love? Have we held hands, have we kissed, have we hugged, or have we spent holidays together? His Tilda seems like we've actually done all that. So it's no wonder Noya is so confident about her love theme. Blame it on Leon and Risvitha for portraying the husband and wife relationship so convincingly in front of their children. At the same time, it also indirectly illustrates how they've managed to make this fake family feel real and warm, so much so that when Noya wanted to excel by taking a different approach, the first thing she thought of was them. The couple hesitated, unsure of what to do. They exchanged glances, each unable to make a decision. Seeing their hesitation, Leon quickly squatted down. "All right, Mom and Dad will cooperate with you. Our family will definitely win first place in the essay competition." Neuer's face lit up again. "Thank you, Mom and Dad." Despite being mature beyond her years, she was still a child, and her cute little face couldn't hide her emotions. Seeing Leon's agreement, Rosvitha naturally didn't say much more. "So Neuer, how do you need Mom and Dad to cooperate with you?" Neuer had already thought about it on the way back. It's simple really, not complicated at all. Upon hearing this, the couple breathed a sigh of relief. Simple was good, simple was good. How complex could a child's understanding of love be? Leon couldn't believe his ears. Did she just mention a date this afternoon? She can't possibly know what a date is at her age. In the evening, Leon paced back and forth in Rosvitha's room. Rosvitha shook her head. "Neuer understands more than the average child. Since she brought it up, let's think about how to handle tomorrow's date first." Leon stopped packing and looked at Rosvitha. "Have you ever been on a date before?" Rosvitha shrugged. "I spent the first 100 years busy with academics and the next 100 years busy with my career. When did I have time for romance and dating? How about you?" "First 15 years academics, next 5 career, and the last 2 years busy with parenting." Rosvitha covered her face, sighing. "Well, we can't rely on our past experiences." With 0 experience, they really couldn't rely on anything. Rosvitha sat quietly for a moment before standing up and heading to her study. A moment later, she returned to the living room holding several novels. She placed the novels on the coffee table. Leon leaned over to take a look. "Me and my lover, afternoon nap, beloved albatross, what are these?" "Novels," she paused, then added, "romance novels." "I thought you were always studying magic, or something in your study. I didn't expect you to secretly read novels." Rosvitha gave him a glance and ignored his teasing, getting straight to the point. "In order to provide Neuer with suitable romantic material, even if we're not good at dating, we need to make up for it tonight by studying. Learning from these books should be efficient." During the nights before the entrance exam, the couple stayed up all night studying to pass the test. But this time, they only had one night to prepare. "Review before the exam, now that's something I won't get tired of," Leon said as he sat down next to Rosvitha. The two of them began flipping through the novels in front of them. Of course, Rosvitha had already read these romance novels several times before, so she only selected the parts related to dates to read. Leon didn't foolishly read every word either. That would take too much time. His method was to skim through the chapter titles first, looking for chapters that might describe dates, and then jump directly to those chapters. Each had their own method, saving time and effort. While reading, they also made notes. They recorded some of the date content from the novels to organize and select later. After a few hours, Leon and Rosvitha had thoroughly absorbed the date sections of these romance novels and made quite a few notes. They exchanged a glance, then simultaneously revealed a knowing smile, the smile of academic achievers. They combined their notes and began selecting what suited them best. The first item on the list was watching a ballet. The theater would be crowded, the atmosphere elegant, and they would simply be watching a ballet, so there wouldn't be any strange activities. It was perfect for them. "How about a couple's bar?" "No, scratch that," Rosvitha said. Leon nodded in agreement, as he wasn't very good at drinking. Also, since they were using this for their daughter's essay material, Neuer would probably be secretly observing them tomorrow. Getting drunk and acting out of character during their daughter's observation wouldn't be a good idea. Next, the couple organized some other date ideas that suited them. What is suitable for them? That is, there are no messy couple games, no overly intimate physical contact, while still being able to show the heartwarming theme of parental love in the project. To be honest, it's quite difficult. But in the end, I managed to cobble together a list of activities for a date, enough to keep them occupied for a whole day. Leon looked at the list with satisfaction. "Well, as long as we follow this tomorrow, we definitely won't mess up." Even Rosvitha rarely agreed with Leon's point of view. "That's right, we can definitely provide our daughter with a perfect date experience." The couple popped open a bottle of champagne. Little did they know, the last time they opened champagne together was on the eve of the school enrollment ceremony. The outcome of that, well, those who understand know. So this time, can the couple escape the law of opening champagne and inevitable mishap? Director Noya K. Melkvi presents her heartfelt masterpiece, Parental Love. Vol 1ch 98. The next morning, after Risvitha finished preparing, she was ready to head to Sky City for their date. Today she wore a pure white long dress, her silver hair tied up with a headband, and a thin braid hanging down the side of her face. It was the same style as the braid Leon had secretly woven for her while she was asleep, which had become a signature detail for Risvitha, whether in her daily life or when traveling. With a delicate egg-shaped face lightly powdered, enhancing her complexion, and subtle makeup complementing her queenly temperament, she exuded elegance and grace. Leon, too, unusually wore a sporty suit, giving him a sunny and casual yet dignified appearance. After all, they had to provide high-quality material for their daughter's composition, starting from their attire, recalling the last time they wore suits was when they took a family portrait. The couple left the house together, exchanging silent appraisals upon seeing each other, then nodding in unison. "You finally look somewhat presentable," Risvitha said with a teasing smile. Leon rolled his eyes. "You don't have to compliment." "Mom, Dad, are you ready?" Noya ran over from her sister's room with her backpack on her back. "We're all set, ready to go anytime," Risvitha replied. Noya ran up to them, glanced at their outfits, then shook her head. "Nope." The couple looked at each other in confusion. "What's wrong now?" Risvitha asked patiently. "What's not right?" "Mom, Dad, you're going on a date, but you're dressed too formally and seriously right now. You look like you're going on a blind date," Noya the director gave her evaluation. The couple exchanged glances. Oh, it does seem a bit too formal indeed. They had only focused on quality and seriousness, neglecting the most important aspect of a date, relaxation and naturalness. A date, fundamentally, is a game between partners, which is quite different from a blind date. "Then I'll go change with Dad," Risvitha said. "No need, Mom. Anna and I went to the tribal clothing store this morning and picked out 2 suitable outfits for you directly. You can just change into them," Noya said. The Silver Dragon Temple was just where Risvitha lived and worked as a queen. The entire living area of the Silver Dragon clan was quite large, with a complete industrial chain of life. Naturally, clothes could be bought here. However, compared to Sky City, where everything in her tribe was already familiar, there was little novelty in arranging a date, and the effect would be greatly discounted. Noya took off her backpack and pulled out 2 sets of clothes from it, handing one to Leon and one to Risvitha. The couple obediently followed Noya's arrangement. Noya would provide her own suggestions and ideas based on the actual situation, and she even made some preparations in advance for this. This was a good thing, and the couple had to support it. They each returned to their rooms. Risvitha opened the clothing bag and found a very youthful and energetic hoodie inside. The fabric felt smooth to the touch, and it should be very comfortable to wear. The overall color of the hoodie was light gray, which matched her hair color well, and there was a cartoon bear pattern on the chest of the hoodie. "It looks good, but," Risvitha couldn't help but mumble, "am I going to look too childish in this?" It wasn't that she was worried that this kind of youthful and girlish style would affect her image. The Silver Dragon Queen never relied on appearance to make people submit. She relied on strength and personal charm. Risvitha just felt that she had never tried this style before. What if she couldn't handle it, and her daughter wasn't satisfied? After some hesitation, Risvitha took off her long dress and put on the hoodie. The hem of the hoodie just covered her buttocks, revealing a small amount of the hem of her undergarments. She went to her wardrobe and paired it with a pair of pants and boots. These weren't her usual style of clothing, and the pants had not been worn for a long time. They felt a bit tight when she put them on. Standing in front of the mirror, Risvitha's cheeks flushed. "Well, it must be because the pants shrank, not because I gained weight." Women were very sensitive to the numbers on the scale, even if they didn't look fat at all. Yet Risvitha was still very strict with herself about managing her figure. However, despite the tightness of the pants, they did indeed accentuate her figure. Risvitha, tall and stunning, transformed from an elegant queen into a lively forest girl. She turned in front of the mirror again, confirming her outfit. "Okay, ready to go. I wonder what Noya prepared for Leon." Muttering to herself, Risvitha opened the door and stepped out. As soon as she looked up, she saw Leon staring at her in shock. Rosvitha was taken aback, about to ask, "What's wrong?" but her gaze fell on Leon's clothes, and she was just as astonished. Their clothes were exactly the same. Except hers was grey and Leon's was black. Couple outfits. Indeed, the eldest daughter's understanding of dating was completely beyond what these adults could imagine. Yes, couple outfits, Tilda, because you two are the stars of today's date, Tilda, of course. You should wear a couple outfits, Noya explained her reasoning. Indeed, the stars should dress differently. Meanwhile, Leon silently added another line to his Memoirs of a Captive, wearing couple outfits with a dragon. Let us once again say the classic quote. Leon Casmode's life was a glorious one, but also an abstract one. Mom looks so beautiful, Tilda. Dad looks so handsome, Tilda. Wow, you're wearing the same clothes. Coincidentally, Muan ran over, followed by the head maid Anna. Noya wore an expression of "I know everything" and explained to her sister, "These are couple outfits, representing that Mom and Dad are a loving couple, Tilda." She emphasized the loving part with stress and intonation. The little dragon princess seemed to understand vaguely, but it didn't stop her from cheering, "Yay, Tilda." Leon facepalmed, "Good daughter, don't explain too much. Let's get started." "Okay, Mom and Dad, you go ahead. Anna will take me and Muan later." Noya earnestly organized everyone's tasks. "Throughout today's date, you won't see us in your line of sight. So please be natural and relaxed. That way we can achieve better results, understand?" Leon made a comical salute, and the Dragon Slayer stood at attention. "Yes, Director Noya." 10 minutes later, Rosvitha transformed into her dragon form, and along with Leon, headed to Sky City. After waiting for a few more minutes, Anna set off with the two little dragon princesses. Her task today was to protect the two young princesses. On the way to Sky City, there were no internal conflicts or wars within the Dragon Clan, so everyone smoothly reached Sky City without any obstacles. Rosvitha transformed back into her human form. To be honest, this was the first time she didn't want to transform back into her human form, because in her dragon form, others couldn't see that she and Leon were wearing couple outfits. Leon's face was also burning red. Despite being grown up, he had never worn couple outfits with any girl before. Oh, forgot to mention, the premise of wearing couple outfits is having a partner, and Leon had been single for the first 22 years of his life. The couple glanced at each other, then walked into Sky City together, beginning their first date after marriage. Vol 1ch 99. The first item on the date battle plan. Watching a ballet. The couple arrived at the ticket counter of a theater. Due to venue constraints and performance schedules, ballet performances usually only had 3 or 4 shows per day. And the couple's date time was only for that day, so the key to this first item was to catch whichever show was available. The ticket attendant smiled as soon as they saw the couple's attire and asked, "Are you two in a romantic relationship?" Leon and Rosvitha glanced at each other, then sighed simultaneously, reluctantly nodding. "All right, I'll arrange a couple seat for you, and the ticket price remains the same," the attendant said. Leon blinked. Just to watch an opera, do they really need separate couple seats and regular seats? "Yes, it's a thoughtful service newly introduced by our theater," the attendant replied. Leon smirked. "Well, you guys are certainly considerate." After purchasing the tickets, there was still half an hour until the show started. The couple sat together on a bench outside the theater, quietly waiting. The plaza outside the theater was freely open to the public, and some elderly people and children would come here to feed the pigeons. Leon and Rosvitha sat side by side on the bench, occasionally having a few pigeons approach them for food. But unfortunately, they didn't have any biscuits or bread in their pockets. Seeing that they couldn't get any food, the pigeons cooed twice and flapped their wings away. As Leon's gaze wandered with the pigeons, he inadvertently noticed an ice cream stand. Immediately, he turned to Rosvitha beside him. She was lowering her head, her mouth hidden under the collar of her hoodie, her hands in the pockets of her top, stretching her long legs, looking at her shoes. The tips of her shoes touched each other and then separated, then lightly touched again, seemingly enjoying herself quite happily. "Want some ice cream?" Leon asked. Hesitation. A nod. "What flavor?" "Anything." Leon's mind stirred slightly. How about cilantro flavor? Risvitha glared at him. Carrot flavor. Leon chuckled and got up to the ice cream stand. While paying, Leon's peripheral vision caught sight of something in the nearby bushes. He hesitated for a moment, then quickly looked away, muttering quietly, "Disguise skills need improvement." But deliberately choosing to hide near the ice cream stand, was there some ulterior motive, my little cotton ball? Leon returned to the bench with 2 ice creams. "I got strawberry and banana flavors. Which one do you want?" "I want orange flavor," Risvitha said, trying to tease him. Unexpectedly, Leon had predicted her little scheme and handed her an orange-flavored ice cream directly. "Here, orange flavor for you." Risvitha was taken aback, raising her eyes and blinking her lively eyes, her long eyelashes fluttering. "Didn't you just buy strawberry and banana flavors?" Leon shrugged. "Just messing with you. I knew you'd pick orange flavor." Risvitha snorted and took the orange-flavored ice cream from him. "Let's go inside and eat while walking. We still have 20 minutes before it starts." "Well, but the assistant director might not wait for 20 minutes, Risvitha said. "Huh." Leon didn't explain further. He reached out and took Risvitha's arm. Risvitha panicked, almost dropping her ice cream, but she was still pulled up by Leon, and they walked together towards the theater entrance. As they walked away, 3 figures emerged from the bushes near the ice cream stand. Anna patted the grass off the 2 little princesses and then straightened her own attire. Anna, I want ice cream too." The assistant director pointed to the stand ahead, her eyes sparkling. Anna nodded and led them to the stand. "Hello, 3 ice creams, please." Never doubt a father's judgment of his daughters. The film crew chose to observe secretly here, not only because it was a good location for footage, but also because they could conveniently buy ice cream. Meanwhile, Leon and Risvitha had already entered the theater. After they took their seats, other audience members began to trickle in. Leon noticed that there were indeed separate sections for couple seats and regular seats, but he still couldn't understand the significance of such a distinction. Even if it was for the sake of accommodating a few nuclear families, it didn't seem necessary. Well, it's normal not to understand things about the Dragon Clan. Leon pushed aside his thoughts and quietly waited for the ballet to begin. "This play is called Sunset Sonata of the Albatross," Risvitha said. Leon glanced down at the name of the play on his ticket and replied, I can read." The story is about 2 people who accidentally become husband and wife, but initially there's no love between them. Through spending time together and getting to know each other, they eventually open their hearts and fall in love, Risvitha explained. Leon pursed his lips and adjusted his posture. "Why does it feel like this is hinting at my life?" Even though he was very aware of how closely the characters in this play mirrored reality, he pretended to remain calm. "Oh, that sounds good." After a pause, he asked, "Oh, have you seen it before?" Risvitha shook her head. "I've only read the original novel of this ballet." A novel? Leon recalled the romance novels they stayed up late reading while planning their date last night, one of which was also related to albatrosses. "Is it the one we read last night?" "No, but it's by the same author." Leon uttered a mild "oh" and quipped, "It seems like this author really likes albatrosses." Because in the life of an albatross, there's only one mate, which coincides with the marital relationship of the Dragon Clan, so many authors often use albatrosses to symbolize unwavering love, Risvitha explained calmly. This book is the final installment of the author's Albatross trilogy, a masterpiece, and it's been adapted into the ballet we're about to watch because of its excellence. Leon gazed at Risvitha's profile in astonishment. When she explained these things, she was knowledgeable and articulate, completely different from her usual reserved demeanor when talking to Leon. It was evident that she genuinely enjoyed these art forms, something Leon hadn't realized before. "Have you ever watched ballets or operas before?" Risvitha asked, glancing at Leon. Leon quickly averted his gaze. Not really, I haven't watched much." "Well, if there's anything you don't understand later, you can ask me, and I'll explain it to you." "So kind of you," Leon remarked. Risvitha gave him a faint glance. "Just worried that when we get home, if our daughter asks you about it and you're clueless, the date would seem too fake, wouldn't it?" Leon shrugged. "Okay." 10 minutes later, the performance began. The first act was a wedding scene, romantic and extravagant, captivating the audience's attention. Ballet is a comprehensive art form that integrates music, drama, literature, dance, and stage design. In addition to the compelling storyline, the actors' singing and dancing skills also greatly enhance a ballet performance. Leon's artistic sensibilities weren't very developed, so he focused more on the plot. Since it was a ballet adapted from a romance novel, some parts of the plot might come off as a bit melodramatic in the actual performance. Leon refrained from commenting, knowing that Hrisvitha seemed quite engrossed in the performance and didn't want to disturb her mood. In the final act, as Hrisvitha had mentioned, after enduring various trials and tribulations, the lovers finally came together, and under the setting sun. The male protagonist proposed to the female protagonist. Heartfelt music filled the air, and the dialogue touched the audience's hearts, bringing tears to their eyes. No exaggeration, Leon saw a few girls in the front row wiping away tears. Leon breathed a sigh of relief but couldn't help but quip, "I would never propose like that, it's too cheesy." Unexpectedly, Hrisvitha nodded in agreement. Yeah, in the original novel, the final scene is very romantic and beautiful, but when portrayed in ballet form, it does seem a bit exaggerated. Overall, though, it's still a very impressive piece. Leon nodded, seeming to understand. Indeed. After a pause, Hrisvitha added, "Anyway, if it were me, I wouldn't accept a proposal in such an environment either. It would feel too contrived." Once again, the couple reached a silent agreement. Fortunately, this was the final act of the ballet. As the proposal, embrace, and actors' curtain call concluded, applause filled the theatre, a recognition of the actors' performances. Hrisvitha lowered her legs from where she had propped them up. "All right, let's go to the next item on our date." "Okay. Please wait. Everyone, especially those in the couple seats, please wait." The host's voice rang out from the stage as he held a microphone, speaking passionately. "After the main performance, this theatre has prepared a special surprise, a bonus scene at the end. It won't take up too much of your time, at most 10 minutes. Those interested can stay to watch." Upon hearing this, those who had started to leave their seats sat back down. "A bonus scene, what's that about?" Leon asked. Before Hrisvitha could shake her head in confusion, the entire theatre suddenly went dark, with only a spotlight remaining on the host on stage. Bathed in the spotlight, the host raised his right hand high. "We will use this spotlight to select one couple from the audience to come on stage and reenact the final scene we just witnessed. What do you say, folks?" "Wow, what an interesting surprise. I'm glad we stayed. Who knew there would be an interactive session? I should have picked a couple seats too." Leon stood frozen in place, so they intentionally separated the couple seats and regular seats for this. Wait, now's not the time to complain. Alarm bells rang loudly in Leon's mind. They needed to leave, and fast. If they didn't go now, things could get messy. In the darkness, he reached for Hrisvitha's hand, originally intending to grasp her wrist directly, but the light was too dim to see clearly. Hrisvitha, startled, instinctively curled her fingers, but after regaining her senses, she firmly clasped Leon's hand in return. Their thoughts were the same: run. Given their luck so far, even if there was a 1 in a million chance of being chosen, they had to flee. The couple stealthily moved to the side aisle, ready to slip away. Unfortunately, it was too late. The spotlight roamed over the couple's seat area, as if death was selecting its prey. Unexpectedly, against all odds, the spotlight didn't stop at the couple's seats, but landed on the aisle beside them. Under the spotlight, a man and a woman held hands, appearing as though they were about to make a getaway. The entire hall erupted in astonishment. The host, after a brief moment of surprise, hurriedly explained, "Oh, it seems like there's a problem with our spotlight, which is why it shone on the aisle. But it's okay, we still selected a couple." Leon and Hrisvitha stood under the spotlight, feeling the intense heat of countless gazes upon them. It felt like they were being scorched by flames, with every pore on their bodies emitting heat. Seriously, they were spotted even in the aisle. Was this some kind of ruthless pursuit? "And no, we're not a couple. We just ran out of tickets and had to buy a couple seats," Leon explained awkwardly, trying to avoid being dragged into reenacting the proposal scene. "Don't be shy, you're both wearing a couple outfits. How can you not be a couple?" the host insisted. Couple outfits, so this was all part of the director's plan. every detail meticulously arranged, leaving no loose ends. "Well done, dear daughter." Rosvitha silently covered her face with her other hand. Indeed, there was no escaping fate. "Come on, please come up and start your performance. Let's all have some fun. As long as everyone's happy, it's all good," the host encouraged. "Yes, you two are a perfect match. Everyone will definitely cheer for you," another voice chimed in. "Go for it, go for it." Then came a chorus of cheers and whistles. The couple looked at each other, and then they resigned themselves to their fate. After all, the daughters were secretly observing somewhere. How could they not behave properly? So, amidst the gazes and applause of the audience, they stepped onto the stage. The male lead from earlier handed the ring to Lion. It was a prop ring, but it felt real, sparkling on the surface, very attractive. From afar, it looked even more genuine than real diamonds. Leon sneered, thinking to himself, "If this ring were big enough, I'd really like to put it around the necks of you dogs." "All right, our brave male lead now. Please kneel and offer your most faithful love to your female lead." Vol 1ch 100. The audience, who had originally intended to leave after the performance, returned to their seats upon hearing there was a surprise ending, eagerly awaiting. Even the actors who had already taken their bows didn't leave the stage, but stayed to witness the performances of the folk artists up close. Among this group of actors were two supposed to be motionless props, but they stealthily moved to the side of the stage. Clap, clap, clap. The host gradually started applauding, and looking at Leon's expression, couldn't help but praise. Although this gentleman is not a professional actor, if you look closely, the expression on his face, that sense of shyness and embarrassment, he portrays it so vividly. At the same time, his anticipation and longing for the proposal are also deeply felt. Under the host's exaggerated praise, Leon faced Rosvitha, slowly kneeling. He tried to block out all the flattery that was being thrown his way. But he couldn't resist the host's relentless bombardment. Look at this kneeling gesture, the gaze toward his partner, the sincere offering of the ring. This gentleman, truly a master of acting, overflowing with emotions. If he didn't truly love the lady before him, how could he portray such emotions? Let's encourage him with applause. Clap, clap, clap. Thunderous applause erupted once again from the audience below. Even the professional actors on stage were swayed by the host's flattery and joined in the applause. For some reason, this scene seemed oddly familiar. Have I experienced this somewhere before? Where was it? Oh, tilde. Leon remembered. It wasn't this scene that was familiar, but the host's shipping enthusiast's look was very familiar. It's just like Vice Principal Wilson's annoying dragon face. So, are you an undercover sent by Wilson? In that case, our country has a complete set of penalties for spies: hanging. But hanging is too cruel. As the Dragon Slayer, I uphold righteousness, and can send you directly to the Western Heaven with just one move, painless and without any sensation. It'll be over in the blink of an eye. The audience and actors, under the host's manipulation, focused all their attention on Leon and Rosvitha, completely ignoring the two stone props on the stage played by people. One of the stone props leaned towards the other, lowering its voice. "Sis, Dad is about to propose to Mom, why aren't you smiling?" "Muan, don't you feel like this scene is familiar?" Muan blinked in confusion and shook her head. Muan forgot. Noya sighed. Right at that time, you were just watching the excitement from below the stage, and it was me, Mom, and Dad who were put on stage to socialize to death. Every time she recalled the day of the school opening ceremony, when they gave the speech as the model family, Noya felt embarrassed enough to want to hide. Why did she have to relive that day, just to find material for her composition? Damn it, it's all because of choosing to disguise as stone props. Originally, she intended to observe her parents' reactions directly, thinking it would be more effective that way. But she didn't expect it is too effective. But now that things had come to this point, there was no use in saying more. Looking at it from another angle, it was quite a pleasant surprise for the male and female leads to inadvertently stage a proposal right in front of them. Noya huddled beneath the prop stone pedestal, quietly observing. After kneeling, she saw her dad holding the prop ring, looking up at her mom. Mom, just like Dad, blushed and seemed somewhat at a loss. Noya rarely saw this side of her mom in daily life. Her mom was a gentle yet strict parent. At work, she was a diligent queen. Even during the previous school opening ceremony, Mom only appeared a bit embarrassed, nothing like now, blushing with shyness. Well, this is good. After all, when Dad proposed back then, neither I nor Muen saw it, so let's consider this a make-up. Leon pursed his lips and began to awkwardly recite the dry lines. Dear Judy. Judy was the name of the female lead in the play. Leon could only silently rejoice that the female lead wasn't named Rosvitha. Do you want to marry me? At that moment, the embarrassment in Leon and Rosvitha's hearts skyrocketed. Even the light of the setting sun couldn't hide the blush on their faces. Their hearts raced, their brains flooded with blood, and Leon felt dizzy. He held Rosvitha's slightly cold hand, feeling its softness, the slender fingers, the delicate wrist. Such beautiful hands. His brain, nearly overloaded with embarrassment, made Leon ignore everything around him. At this moment, it seemed like there was only his Judy in his eyes. His gaze followed her hand up along her arm until it stopped at her face. Even at a 45-degree angle of death, her face still looked perfect. Combined with that shy and charming expression, this level of beauty was more than enough to reassure Leon. Plus, with his daughters secretly watching somewhere, Leon was determined. Dear Judy, will you marry me? Rosvitha's hand was held tightly by Leon, while the other hand clenched the hem of their couple's shirt. Every pore on her body seemed to be emitting heat. If it weren't for the crowd, she might have been embarrassed enough to curl up her tail. She bit her lower lip, feeling her cheeks burning. She really wanted to escape. But this guy dared to recite his lines. Was she worse off than her own prisoner of war? Absolutely not. She couldn't let him look down on her. It was just agreeing to a proposal. What's so difficult about that? Nick was the name of the male lead. She was about to say those 3 words. Everyone, including the host, held their breath, waiting quietly. Even the small stone pedestal hiding behind the actors widened its eyes. She stared at her mom's mouth, waiting for her to say the next, crucial line. I do. Judy accepted Nick's proposal, and the audience erupted into applause for the 3rd time. The small stone pedestal breathed a sigh of relief. It had turned into a large cobblestone. Muen leaned in again. Sister, your eyes look red. Noya snapped back. Do they? Yeah, they do, and although I don't really understand what a proposal is, Muen's eyes feel a bit teary too. Did my eyes turn red too? Noya smiled and leaned close to her sister's cheek, rubbing her eye corner with her own cheek. Not red this time. Okay, thank you, Sister Tilda. Children witnessing their dad proposing to their mom was not a common occurrence, because proposals usually happened before having children. So being moved was normal. The audience and actors were deeply impressed by the shy and innocent feelings portrayed by this young couple. If they entered the industry, they might just be tomorrow's stars. However, what they didn't know was that these 2 tomorrow's stars weren't acting at all. It was all genuine emotion. The host led the audience in cheers, oblivious to the fact that the prop ring wasn't actually on Rosvitha's finger. Everything ended the moment the words, I do, were spoken. Leon stood up, returned the ring to the male actor, and breathed a sigh of relief. Phew tilde. Almost simultaneously, sighs of relief echoed around. Leon glanced sideways and happened to meet Rosvitha's gaze. The couple locked eyes, and in less than a second, they both saw the same word reflected in each other's eyes. Run! The couple held hands and ran directly off the stage. The host, watching their backs, delivered the final blow. Run tilde, run towards your love grave tilde. Bang! The theater's doors closed, shutting out the applause and cheers, isolating the world in silence. The couple, as if returning from hell, felt reborn. The sunlight had never felt so warm, the air so fresh. Was this what a world without embarrassment felt like? Truly wonderful, my dear family. After a moment, Rosvitha straightened her back, looked left and right, and finally found the restroom on one side of the corridor. Wait for me, I'll go touch up my makeup. She had sweated a bit, and although her makeup was light, it still needed a touch-up. Leon nodded. While Rosvitha went to freshen up, Leon strolled around the theatre's corridor. The interior space of the entire theatre was quite large. In addition to the theatre for musicals, there were also some medium-sized cinemas and an indoor dragon-themed amusement park. It was a large entertainment complex. As Leon wandered, he happened to see a self-service photo printing station. The Dragon Slayer's eyes lit up. Obtained without any effort at all. On this date to Sky City, Leon also had some personal motives, one of which was how to capitalize on the significant achievements of the Bunny Girl incident. And now he stumbled upon it. He glanced in the direction of the restroom. Rosvitha hadn't returned yet. What an opportunity! Leon briskly approached the self-service photo printing station, pulled back the curtain, and walked in. Actually, he had thought about getting the photos developed at a photography studio within the Silver Dragon tribe. But within the tribe, there were no self-service photo printing stations. Everything was done manually. The more important something was, the fewer people who knew about it, ensuring confidentiality. And if the Silver Dragon tribe saw such provocative photos of their queen, Rosvitha, they might actually tie Leon up and torture him in the Silver Dragon Temple. Provoking them to that extent would be extremely reckless. So Leon secretly prayed that Sky City would have a self-service photo printing station like this. And he unexpectedly stumbled upon one right at the beginning. Large entertainment venues like this always had photo opportunities, so having a few self-service photo printing stations was normal. Leon placed his camera on the printing device, selected the Bunny Girl photos, and started the device. Just to be safe, he printed 5 copies of each photo, planning to hide them in 5 different places when he got back. Even if 1 or more copies were discovered by Rosvitha, he wouldn't panic at all. Leaving 1 card up his sleeve wasn't Leon's style, leaving 5 was. After a moment, fresh Bunny Girl photos of Rosvitha were printed. Leon didn't linger. He would have plenty of time to appreciate them later. He quickly retrieved his camera, deleted all the Bunny Girl photos from it. This way, the photos in his possession would become collector's items. After returning home and hiding the 5 copies of printed photos for future use, Leon would have plenty of ammunition for his next move when Rosvitha made her next move. If Rosvitha got angry and tried to force herself on him, Leon would let her know just how brutal a dragon slayer, who had been preparing for at least half a month, could be when facing an enraged mother dragon. That's what you call being a top-notch strategist, strategic smugness. Leon put away the photos and camera, then left the self-service station. When he reached the theater entrance, Rosvitha had just finished touching up her makeup. Facing each other, Rosvitha scrutinized him from head to toe and asked suspiciously, "Why do you look so happy?" "You accepted my proposal, my dear Judy. Of course I'm happy." Rosvitha's face darkened, but she played along. "So, dear Nick, what's our next date activity? Are we going to have stir-fried Nick with extra carrots?" "It's steamed Judy with extra coriander." Bantering, the two of them left the theater, heading straight to their next date activity. Vol 1ch 101. As they walked towards the shopping street, Rosvitha asked, "By the way, did you see where Noya and the others were hiding just now?" It was said to be observing secretly, gathering material covertly, but throughout the whole scene, Rosvitha didn't catch a glimpse of her daughters. She was somewhat worried. If something unexpected happened and Noya couldn't gather material successfully, it would not only delay her family composition, but also render Leon's and her previous performance futile. Leon shook his head. "I saw them before entering the theater, but I didn't see them after we went in." Rosvitha blinked. Since they followed to the theater, there shouldn't be any problem. But she was still a little surprised. "You actually found out, so where were they before entering?" Leon shrugged indifferently, right next to the ice cream stand in the bushes. "Oh, I didn't notice." "Yeah, it's not your fault," Leon said. As an excellent dragon slayer, counter-surveillance is also a necessary skill. Rosvitha laughed and gave him a playful glance. "A skill, huh? Then why didn't you use your skill inside the theater?" To Rosvitha's teasing, Leon chuckled and retorted, "Wasn't I focusing all my attention on proposing to you?" Rosvitha rolled her eyes and didn't respond further. The couple walked for more than 20 minutes and arrived at a shopping street. Shopping was a very suitable dating activity for them. Combining no need for physical contact, sufficient verbal communication, long screen time, and other advantages into one activity, it was simply the perfect project to provide material for a good daughter. Besides, it provided an opportunity to buy some new clothes. Rasvitha felt that her pants were indeed a bit tight. Showing off the figure was one thing, but wearing them for a long time might become uncomfortable. So, it was just the right time to seize the opportunity to select some suitable clothes and pants. With age and having already given birth once, even with strict body management, certain areas would gradually become plump. It wasn't a big deal, but Rasvitha felt that the timing of this plumpness seemed a bit off. It had been over a year since she gave birth to Noya Muin, so why did her figure only start showing signs of change now? Forget it, maybe it was because she hadn't been exercising much recently. Thinking of this, she glanced at Leon. Damn Dragon Slayer, why couldn't the flesh grow on his body? It was all rightfully his. It seemed that after the date ended and they returned home, she would have to find a suitable time to pick a fight with Leon. The couple strolled side by side on the shopping street, keeping an eye on suitable clothing stores while subconsciously observing their surroundings for any signs of disguise by the directors. However, to be honest, since the ice cream stand, Leon hadn't spotted them again. They hid pretty well. It seemed that their usual hide-and-seek wasn't played in vain, Leon thought. Several leaflet distributors approached them, and one of them handed a leaflet to Leon. Leon took it, glanced at the contents of the leaflet, which was an advertisement for a shop. Looking up, it was just around the next street corner. The shop looked quite upscale, and the storefront decoration was very delicate. Leon tucked away the leaflet and suggested they go check out that shop, to which Rasvitha agreed. The couple strode towards the shop, completely unaware that one of the leaflet distributors who had just handed them the flyer was secretly following them. Once they turned into the shop, the leaflet distributor also opened up his coat. Inside, two little dragon girls, one up and one down, Noya carrying Muin on her back, hid at the corner of the street, looking towards the shop entrance. "Is this Mommy and Daddy's second date project?" Muin asked. Noya nodded. "Let's go, we'll follow them." "Yes, big sister." The little dragon girls sneaked into the clothing store. Anna watched them from not far away, smiling and shaking her head, then walked into the shop as well. She always made sure the two little princesses were within her sight. At this moment, Leon and Rasvitha were leisurely browsing inside the shop. Leon didn't actually have anything specific in mind to buy. When he used to accompany his master on shopping trips, she would suggest trying on whatever she thought suited him, and if it fit well, they would buy it. He didn't have much opinion on his own clothing and style. However, Rasvitha was consciously heading towards the adult dragon section. She probably had some clothes she wanted to buy. As they browsed, they unconsciously wandered into the pajama section. Because their couple shirts were too eye-catching, they quickly attracted a salesperson. "Hello, may I ask if you're looking to pick out some pajamas? These are all the new styles for this season," the salesperson greeted them. "We're just browsing," Rasvitha replied. "Just browsing, huh?" The salesperson obviously didn't want to let them off easily. After a brief hesitation, she continued, "I see you two are a couple, right? You're even wearing a couple outfits, so would you like to take a look at our new couple pajamas?" "Oh, no need." The Queen rarely visited ready-to-wear clothing stores. She usually went to custom tailors. So, faced with the enthusiasm of the salesperson, she didn't know how to refuse. Leon felt the same way. When he used to go shopping with his master, refusing, bargaining, and getting discounts were all tasks his master handled alone. Leon was just a tool to carry bags. Neither of the couple had the heart to dampen the salesperson's enthusiasm, so they could only watch as she brought over two sets of pajamas. They were a couple designs, one-piece pajamas with cute dragon horns on the attached sleeping caps. As the salesperson displayed the back of the pajamas, Leon noticed there was even a special design for the tailbone area, specifically for a tail. Thoughtful, too thoughtful, but unfortunately I don't have a tail to make use of it. These pajamas are a must-have for home wear. If you don't feel like going out during the holidays, you can just wear these pajamas and stroll around at home without worrying about catching a cold. Plus, the fabric is very skin-friendly, and it's very comfortable to wear, the salesperson enthusiastically introduced. If you don't like the tail part, you can even remove it. With that, the salesperson directly removed the tail part, revealing a zipper just below the lower back of the pajamas. She zipped it up again. See, just like this, it's a tailless style pajama. Leon looked at the zipper design on the tailbone area, thinking that the person who invented this was truly a genius. Putting a zipper in that area, it probably wasn't just for exposing the tail, right? And there's more about this pajama. We'll take it, Rosvitha said. For them, who didn't often interact with salespeople, this was the only way to make the world a little quieter and continue their date. The salesperson's eyes lit up, quickly responding, "All right, I'll pack it for you." While the salesperson went to get a bag, the couple both breathed a sigh of relief. A moment later, the salesperson finished packing the clothes and handed the shopping bag to Leon. They were about to leave when they underestimated the pulling power of a salesperson. "Aren't you going to pick out anything else?" Leon was about to politely decline, but before he could, the salesperson's rapid-fire rhythm cut him off. "Do you have any children at home? How about picking out pajamas for the kids too?" Damn, was this the professionalism of a salesperson? Comprehensive, leaving no stone unturned, ensuring they could take 100 from your wallet instead of just 99. Neuer and them could use new pajamas too. During their growth, their bodies develop quickly, Rosvitha said. "All right, let's buy 2 more for the twins," Rosvitha said. The salesperson was overjoyed. Twins. She loved dealing with, oh no, she meant serving, families like this the most. "Okay, the baby dragon pajamas are here. Please follow me." The salesperson led the couple to the baby dragon pajama section. There were so many cute pajamas on display that they couldn't see them all, so they had to rely on the salesperson for introductions. At this moment, the attention of the couple was entirely focused on the salesperson, and they didn't notice that not far behind them, in the clothing display area, 2 baby dragon models stood out compared to the lifeless mannequin models nearby. Thanks to their usual 1, 2, 3 wooden man game, Mewen and Neuer disguised themselves as models and lurked there. To avoid being recognized, they even wore masks and hats, only revealing their 2 lively big eyes. "Sister, you've never beaten Mewen in the wooden man game before," Mewen whispered. "I'll definitely beat you this time." "HMPH, not likely." Neuer glanced ahead at their parents. They seemed to be picking baby dragon pajamas for her and Mewen. Well, if they included family love in the composition themed on love, it would definitely be a winning move. Neuer was quite satisfied with the impromptu addition of the 2 veteran actors. Meanwhile, the salesperson had already brought out many sets of baby dragon pajamas for them to choose from. Leon and Rosvitha looked at the various pajamas, finding them all quite nice. They just weren't sure if Neuer and Mewen would like them. "How about we find them and let them pick?" Rosvitha suggested. After some thought, Leon shook his head. "Did you forget what Neuer said? Keep it relaxed and natural, just pretend they don't exist." Rosvitha sighed softly as she looked at the baby dragon pajamas in her hand. "But what if the children don't like them after we buy them?" Leon was also feeling a bit troubled. He took a baby dragon pajama and walked to the mirror. Since he often held Mewen, he could roughly estimate her size. As he compared, he caught a glimpse of a baby dragon model in the mirror. He furrowed his brows slightly, not directly focusing his gaze there, but observing through the corner of his eye. The model was looking in their direction, reflecting in the mirror, staring at the pajama in his hand. Although the body remained still, the eyes said it all. Asterisk. Leon cleared his throat lightly, so he was pretending to be a fake mannequin, huh? It actually looked quite convincing. He pretended not to notice his little daughter, and then changed into a nightgown, standing in front of the mirror. Mewen asterisk. Leon changed it again. Mewen asterisk. Leon changed it once more. Salesperson, sir, are none of these to your liking? Leon simply shook his head, silently. After changing several times, finally. Mewen omega. Leon, great, this set, please pack it up, thank you. The salesperson breathed a sigh of relief immediately. Although the process was a bit cumbersome, they managed to sell a total of 4 pajamas. Jackpot. Carrying bags of various sizes, Leon followed behind Rosvitha as they left the shop. Damn it. Why was he still unable to escape the fate of being a bag carrier, even after leaving his master? So, for the second item on the date checklist. Shopping successfully completed, heavy check mark. Vol 1CH 102. Carrying bags and parcels, Leon followed behind Risvitha as they left the clothing store. What's our next stop? Lunch, Risvitha turned around and asked. Yeah, lunch. Risvitha raised her hand to shield her eyes, looking towards a tall building on the shopping street with a large clock on it. It was only a little past 10 in the morning. They were moving quite fast for their date. It wasn't even close to lunchtime yet. Leon also noticed this and suggested, how about we do some more shopping? Risvitha smiled, looking Leon up and down, his arms full of shopping bags. If you're not tired, sure, let's shop some more. Leon shrugged and didn't respond, heading deeper into the shopping street on his own. Risvitha crossed her arms and called after him, Hey, do you need me to carry some of those for you? No need, these things are light, Leon said, striding forward without looking back. Back then, whenever Master went shopping, she bought much more than this, yet Leon would still smile faintly in praise. Master buys so well, wouldn't he? But occasionally, Leon also wondered, since she bought so much every time, why not just bring the donkey from home? Compared to captives or bag carriers, donkeys were more suited for this, right? The couple continued strolling through the shopping street. As they neared the exit, they noticed a storefront entirely different from the other clothing and jewelry stores. With its dark colors, peculiar storefront decorations, and various mysterious symbols that were incomprehensible, it exuded an eerie and mysterious atmosphere. Upon entering, they realized it was a fortune-telling parlor. Leon only gave it a cursory glance before wanting to leave. He wasn't particularly interested in fortune-telling or divination. However, their master and mistress were quite addicted to this stuff back in the day. Every month, they would seek out different fortune-tellers for a session. A few times, they insisted on dragging Leon along, and since he couldn't refuse, he went along with them. It was these occasions that instilled in Leon a considerable bias against the fortune-telling industry. Fortune-teller A would say, Your son is naturally gifted, born with the holy body of a scholar. With a little cultivation, he will surely become a renowned scholar in his field. Fortune-teller B would claim, Your beloved son excels in the ways of governance and strategy. If he enters the political arena, he will undoubtedly achieve great success. Fortune-teller C, the heavyweight of them all, would ominously predict, Your son may face a disaster next month. Pay me 100 gold coins, and I can ensure his safety. The result, their master nearly flipped his stand on the spot. It's no wonder Leon harbors biases against this industry, demanding 100 gold coins up front. Why not just go rob someone? So, it's best to just enjoy the spectacle of these little tricks and not take them seriously. Just as Leon was about to leave, he noticed Risvitha hadn't followed him. Turning back, he saw her gazing up at the signboard, an introduction of the fortune-telling parlor, seeming quite interested in such things. As expected. Let's go in and take a look, Risvitha suggested. After all, we still have some time before lunch, why not? When a bunny girl says so, why not oblige? Condemned prisoners eat a good meal before execution. It's not surprising. Leon shrugged, Suit yourself. The couple walked into the fortune-telling parlor. The atmosphere inside the parlor remained mysterious and eerie, with the lighting, carpets, and wall decorations all adding to the sense of mystique. There weren't many people in the fortune-telling parlor, and they could easily spot the female fortune-teller sitting furthest inside. She wore a priestess hat, a black gown, and had manicured nails, each one different. Her features beneath the priestess hat were delicate, but her makeup seemed a bit too much in line with the surroundings, appearing somewhat non-mainstream. Welcome, please have a seat, she said calmly. The couple sat down, facing the fortune-teller. The fortune-teller remained composed, first assessing Risvitha and then nodding thoughtfully before turning her gaze to Leon. And shook her head. Leon was taken aback. Wait, why are you shaking your head at me? I can see at a glance, sir. Leon sucked in a breath, feeling the gathering of lightning elemental energy under the table. If this person directly sees that he's not a dragon, then sorry, as a fortune-teller, you should have foreseen your own disaster today. Extraordinary demeanor, radiant countenance. He is truly a son of destiny, beyond the comparison of ordinary male dragons. The lightning in his hand awkwardly flickered twice. Leon coughed lightly and nudged Risvitha's shoe, signaling her to intervene. That's an exaggeration. My husband is just somewhat good-looking, nothing too extravagant, Risvitha said. May I ask for your name? You can call me Afu, the fortune-teller said. What aspect of your lives would you like to have divined? Marriage, career. If you're unsure, I have a comprehensive divination package available for you to choose from. Wow, this industry is becoming more and more thoughtful. They even have packages for fortune-telling now. Afu then produced a wooden board covered with various divination methods. Astrology, bamboo sticks, tarot cards, you name it. Of course, each had its own price. While Risvitha came for fun, she didn't want too much hassle. Let's try astrology first. It should be a simple process, right? Yes, just tell me your birthdays, Afu said confidently. October 25th, Risvitha said. Ah, that makes you a Scorpio. Afu elaborated confidently. Scorpios are a zodiac sign that often lacks security, but possesses keen observational skills, being highly sensitive to changes in their surroundings. When a Scorpio asks someone a question, they often already know the answer but still want to hear it from the other person's mouth. Risvitha nodded slightly in understanding. Leon, however, still harbored some distrust towards such things. Afu continued, of course, Scorpio women have a typical personality trait, cold on the outside but passionate and unrestrained on the inside. They're fearless in love and hatred. Once they fall in love, it's a pursuit of success or death. Oh, speaking of love, the most compatible signs with Scorpio are Pisces and Cancer. Your compatibility with them is excellent. Risvitha nodded in apparent understanding. And which sign is least compatible? Leo. All right, Afu turned to Leon. And what's your birthday, sir? August 5th. Listening to Afu's earlier mystical descriptions, Leon couldn't help but ask, so, what zodiac sign am I? Afu's expression turned strange as she glanced at Risvitha, then hesitantly replied, so you're a Leo. Oh, that explains it. No wonder they constantly find each other irritating. It's all because of the zodiac signs. The couple exchanged a glance, then simultaneously looked away. Seeing this, Afu couldn't help but feel flustered. She quickly explained, oh, please don't take it too seriously. Astrology is just a reference, not always accurate. I think it's quite accurate, Leon said devoutly. Leon's thoughts, this stuff is just trickery for kids, before hearing about the incompatibility with Risvitha. Now that it's mentioned, it's profound wisdom. Observing the couple's reactions, Afu didn't know what to do, so she suggested, to apologize, I'll give you both a discount of 30% off the next divination. How about that? Risvitha glanced at Leon and nodded, sure. Whether they got a discount or not didn't matter to her. She wasn't short on money. However, she had a feeling that the next divination might be unfavorable for Leon. As the saying goes, what's unfavorable to the dragon slayer is favorable to the dragon. Divination must be done. Suddenly, Afu pulled out a crystal ball from under the table. Sir, please place your hand on this crystal ball. I will establish a connection with your life, enabling me to infer your past and future. Leon hesitated, but eventually placed his hand on the crystal ball. Afu closed her eyes and began to activate the crystal ball. Leon didn't feel much, except that the crystal ball was a bit cold and had a mediocre texture. After a moment, Afu softly spoke, Sir, you are naturally endowed with exceptional leadership abilities, possessing unique insights and perspectives on things. Countless people have admired and followed you. Leon was slightly surprised. It was surprisingly accurate. But, of course, there had to be a twist after the praise. How else would they collect payment? Sir, you seem to have a calamity. Leon raised an eyebrow. A calamity. He subconsciously glanced at Risvitha beside him. Besides this dragoness, could there be any other calamity for him? Well, I see iron bars, weeds, hiss. Sir, I've got it. Leon held his breath. What? You'll face jail time. That's harder. Risvitha finally couldn't hold it in any longer. She burst into laughter, clutching her stomach, her shoulders shaking with laughter. Leon, on the other hand, wore an expression of speechlessness, as if saying, Sister, you're really humorous. Afu looked at the couple's reactions, blinked, and for the first time, doubted her professionalism. Did I say something wrong? Leon lowered his voice, gritting his teeth. No, you're right, you're absolutely right. Scratching her forehead, Afu continued since she seemed to be on the right track. So, sir, would you like to dispel this calamity? Leon's face darkened even more. Next should be, pay me 100 gold coins, and I'll help you avoid disaster, right? You fortune tellers all have the same tricks. But is there a possibility that my jail time has already passed? Now it's the latter part of the jail time, the captive's disaster. Sister, you're late to the party. No need, Leon said. Oh, okay then. Leon withdrew his hand, stood up, and nudged Rosvitha's shoulder. Stop laughing, let's pay and leave. Rosvitha nodded, restraining the urge to burst into laughter, paid, and left the fortune-telling parlor with Leon. Leon Kaz mode. Outside, Rosvitha placed a hand on Leon's shoulder, looking serious. You'll face jail time. Leon shook off her hand, turned, and briskly walked towards the exit of the shopping street. Rosvitha caught up with him, running behind, laughing. If you need financial support to avoid disaster, I can provide it. Shut up, you evil dragon. At this moment, Noya and Muin, hiding in the shadows, peeked out and watched their parents' figures. Mommy looks so happy, Muin said. Yeah, even though the last project was short, it must have been exciting. It's rare to see Mommy so happy, Noya remarked. Sister, should we continue to follow them? Of course. Yay, Tilda. The two little dragon girls wiggled their legs and quickly ran past the fortune-telling shop's door. Inside, Afu looked puzzledly at her crystal ball, scratching her head. Could the crystal ball be malfunctioning? She placed her hand on it again, attempting to divine the man she just predicted jail time for. However, the result of this divination was completely unrelated to the previous prediction of jail time. Afu's eyes snapped open, and she muttered to herself, how can a man facing jail time be surrounded by children? Vol 1ch 103. After lunch, Leon and Rosvitha began their afternoon date activities. They went to an indoor zoo and got up close to feed some adorable little animals. Just like humans, in the eyes of the dragon race, anything not too ugly could be categorized as cute. But Rosvitha wouldn't describe them as cute. Because in the dragon's concept, cute is a derogatory term. Throughout the visit to the zoo, Leon kept trying to guide her into saying the word cute. Rosvitha was annoyed and finally a bit embarrassed. She blurted out, Kazmode, you are so cute. After the zoo, they went to a place for handmade clay sculpture. Rosvitha made a caricature version of Leon. Leon, on the other hand, made Rosvitha's giant dragon form. After the couple finished, they looked at each other with smiles, their eyes filled with affection. The clay sculpture shop owner was about to praise them for their skillful craftsmanship. But this praise was choked back when they snapped the necks of the clay sculptures in their hands. The marital relationship wasn't quite harmonious, the shop owner sighed, then said, even if you break them, you still have to pay the full price, you know. In the evening, they left the Sky City and headed to the last stop of their date. The seaside. It wasn't far from the Sky City. After descending from above, they arrived in less than 20 minutes. Near the Sky City, there are no wars, no conflicts, and no racial disputes. Most of those who come here to relax are laid-back elderly dragons who are tired of fighting. As the last stop of their date, it's also quite nice. The couple sat on a bench by the beach, with bags of various sizes placed beside them. They gazed at the nearby beach, the sunset casting a golden hue on the sand, making it look like a floor of gold. Several young dragons were barefoot, building sandcastles on the beach, while the adults strolled and chatted nearby. Occasionally, seagulls flew over Leon and Rosvitha's heads, accompanied by the slightly salty and cool sea breeze, making them feel refreshed and comfortable. Leon sighed leisurely, relaxing his posture and leaning back on the bench. The requirements given by Noya weren't too demanding, mainly emphasizing a relaxed and natural atmosphere, so this moment was probably the most relaxed time for them. Let's talk about something, we can't just stay here until night, Rosvitha said. What do you want to talk about? Let's talk about, Rosvitha smoothed her temple hair, that female classmate you dreamed about. Leon gave her a speechless look. I declare that the only female being I have any relationship with is you. Wait a minute, I think I understand. Leon sat up straight, seeming to realize something. Rosvitha glanced at him, what's up? Leon squinted at her, sizing her up, and said softly, oh, someone seems to be a bit too concerned. Could it be jealous, MMPH? Risvitha covered his mouth with her hand. Actually, you said even more sensational things that night. Do you want to hear them? She teased. MMPH. Risvitha chuckled, withdrew her hand, and stood up. Guess. She was in no rush to reveal everything. Risvitha put her hands in the pockets of their couple's shirt and walked towards the beach. Her silver high ponytail swayed behind her head, appearing lively and energetic. Leon wanted to catch up and get some clarity. Looking left and right, he didn't see the two directors or the director's assistant, Anna, but Leon believed they were watching nearby. So, leaving the bags of clothes here temporarily, he didn't worry about them being stolen. With that in mind, Leon stood up and jogged towards Risvitha. He reached Risvitha's side and was about to speak. What else did I say in the dream? SHH tilde, Risvitha put her index finger to her lips, not interested in discussing the half-hearted truths anymore. She watched the other couples walking on the beach, all holding hands or linking arms. Following her gaze, Leon quickly understood what she was thinking. A story's perfection lies in its ending, Risvitha said leisurely, lifting her eyes to meet Leon's gaze. So, dear Leo, dare to try holding the hand of the most incompatible Scorpio, Risvitha suggested with a half-joking tone. Leon snorted lightly. There's nothing I'm afraid of. He reached out his arm and took Risvitha's hand, but this time it wasn't fingers interlocking. Because Leon took the initiative to hold hands, their palms were facing each other, with his hand gently wrapping around Risvitha's. Already quite proactive, adjusting to interlock their fingers might lead to some misunderstandings for this female dragon, wouldn't it? Yeah, just holding hands like this is fine. The couple walked hand in hand, taking slow steps on the beach. Behind them, they left behind 2 lines of footprints and a tail print. The grains of sand rubbed against the tip of the tail, tickling lightly. Tightly holding the large, slightly cool palm, they felt completely safe. The fortune teller named Afu was right during the day. Risvitha was someone lacking in security. This had nothing to do with astrology. It was inherent to her. But what she didn't expect was that, at this moment, she could actually walk hand in hand on the beach with a dragon slayer who was least likely to provide her with a sense of security. This world is sometimes quite crazy. Whoosh! The waves surged to their feet. Oh, wait a moment. Risvitha let go of Leon's hand, bent down, took off her short boots, then rolled up her pants, revealing her round and delicate ankles. Phew, all set. Now I won't worry about getting my shoes wet. Risvitha held the short boots in her hand. Do you want to take yours off too? Leon paused for a moment. Oh, sure. He also took off his shoes, rolled up his pants, and held the other shoe in his hand. All right, let's go, let's stroll some more. With that, Risvitha naturally held Leon's hand again with her free hand. The waves surged again, submerging the ankles of the couple. It was refreshingly cool. The sunset hung precariously on the horizon where the sea and sky met, marking the second time they enjoyed the sunset today. The first time was at the theater, but it felt surreal. The atmosphere and environment couldn't compare to the present moment. However, such moments had to come to an end. Despite the relaxation of completing Neuer's task, there was a faint sense of loss for some reason. The sound of the waves and the cries of seagulls surrounded them. Leon turned his head to look at Risvitha. The sea breeze lifted her beautiful silver hair, revealing her delicate forehead. They say bangs can enhance a person's appearance, so the true face of a person is revealed when they don't have bangs. But for Risvitha, this saying didn't seem to apply. With or without bangs, she was always so beautiful. The sunlight on her profile made her features even more exquisite, especially her nose, perfectly straight. Why are you staring at me? Risvitha looked straight ahead. Leon withdrew his gaze, just looking at the sun. The couple walked hand in hand, holding their shoes, stepping on the sand and waves, strolling in the sunset. Not far away in a parked carriage, 2 dragon ladies peeked out. Darn it, I should have spent more time looking for the camera this morning, Neuer said indignantly. It's such a pity to merely record this scene with words. Capturing it in a photo would truly do justice to such an atmospheric moment. Huh, sister, couldn't you find the camera this morning? Nguyen asked. Neuer shook her head. I searched the storage room in Mom's house several times, but couldn't find it. Ah, what a pity, we can't preserve this scene forever. It's actually not a pity at all. Anna walked up behind the two young dragon girls. Neuer and Mewen turned around. Why do you say that? Anna stood behind them, gazing at the couple playing in the distance. His Majesty always says to me that a dragon's life is too long. Every beautiful thing has its expiration day, the day it's no longer loved. So for her, the fleeting beauty holds even more nostalgic meaning. Neuer and Mewen nodded vaguely, not fully understanding the meaning of the statement, but it must be a good thing because Mom said it. The two little ones turned their gaze back to the beach. Mom and Dad had already plunged into the diving area and started a water fight. As they played, Mom accidentally fell, teetering on the brink of falling into the water, but Dad promptly reached out and caught her waist. They locked eyes and then Anna covered their eyes. This part is not suitable for children to see. The head maid chuckled, watching the last rays of the sun disappear on Her Majesty's figure.